Hello, I'm back. Welcome 2024 and welcome to all of you. If you are new here, my name is Amanda. Thank you so much for tuning in to my video. So I know we are several days into January. However, it has been a while since I've posted a video. So I hope everyone had a very Merry Christmas, a safe and happy New Year celebration, and I hope everyone is ready for the new year. So I will say that I took a much needed break from my craft room, but now I am back and ready to go with more videos, more tutorials. So I appreciate everyone who has subscribed to my channel and would really appreciate if you would share and like my content. And again, I just really appreciate everyone who has subscribed and everyone who is hanging in there with me. So with all of that being said, let's go ahead and dive in to today's video. So this idea that I had, I initially wanted to put on like a 12-ounce kid size tumbler, and I was going to print my design on water slide paper and apply the images in that way. However, my regular inkjet printer, for some reason, right around Christmas time, decided it wanted to stop printing in color. And I have tried everything. I've changed the ink. I've uninstalled it, reinstalled it, all that stuff. And I still can't get it to work. So with that being said, we are going to be using this 8-ounce baby bottle from Craft Haven. It is a sublimation bottle. I unfortunately did not have any children's size sublimation tumblers. Now, as of the recording of this video, I checked Craft Haven's website and I don't see that they sell these any longer. They may, I just didn't see it on their website. I'll go ahead and link them for you in the description box, but I know there are other tumbler suppliers that do sell the baby bottles, so you'll just have to check around on that. But once again, I feel like this would be probably better suited for a kid's tumbler, like a toddler size kid's tumbler anyway, and you'll see why here in a second when we jump into this. But for the purposes of this tutorial, I did have to sublimate my baby bottle. And this is the design that we are working with. This is a design that I created, and I printed it out on my sublimation printer, and then I used my sublimation oven to sublimate the baby bottle. The settings on my sublimation oven go from 345 to 390. So I had it somewhere between those two. I know that's a kind of a wide range of temperature, but it is what it is. That's what the settings are on my oven. So I put it between the 345 and the 390, pretty much dead even. And I sublimated the bottle for about 8 minutes. And because of my sublimation oven, I didn't have to rotate it or anything like that. So those were my settings. You may have to play around with your settings. And of course, if you have one of these baby bottles and you know the manufacturer's suggested settings, then by all means use that. But again, because I couldn't find these on the Craft Haven website, I just had to kind of guess at what the settings should be based upon experience. So, and then the real tutorial starts once we get it sublimated. Now, the print that I showed you is not sized for the baby bottle size. The size that I used for the baby bottle was 7.874 inches by 6 inches. And the 7.874 was the diameter of the baby bottle, and 6 inches was the length. Now, with that being said, for some reason, it was actually a little too short in the diameter. So I had to go back and just use like a green heat transfer paper and used a heat gun and heated this little strip on to cover up the gap. So you may want to go a little bit larger than the 7.874 that I used. And here we go. This is what we are making. This adorable baby bottle, and it is going to have a cape that is removable so that you can wash the baby bottle without getting the fabric wet. So what you will need for this tutorial is, of course, some fabric, a sewing machine with needle and thread, or Heat and Bond Ultra. You will also need some 1mm and or 3mm magnets, as well as some liquid fusion and or fabric fusion. Also, UV resin will be used in this tutorial as well. So here I have my piece of fabric, and it is cut to the dimensions that I wanted. And we're just going to fold and hand press the fabric to make the shape of a cape. Now, once you fold it and hand press it, I went ahead and took my iron to it to just really make that crease. Now, once you get the fabric ironed down, you can either sew along the edges or you can use the Heat and Bond Ultra. Now, once we have the top portion folded, I'm going to go ahead and fold in the sides. And again, just make a crease with my finger. And then I'm going to go take it and to my ironing board and iron down the seams so they're nice and crisp and so that they lay flat. Now, if you so choose, you can sew the edges that we have ironed flat. You can sew those in place. However, I chose to just use the Heat and Bond Ultra. I wanted it to actually just sort of look like a cape, and not have any of the threads showing. So that part is up to you as to what you want to do. But look how cute that's going to be. So I'm going to go ahead and put my Heat and Bond Ultra on. Now, if you do choose to use the Heat and Bond Ultra, this is where you're going to need the fabric fusion, because I tried the liquid fusion, and because the Heat and Bond is so slick once you apply it to your fabric, because it's made for fabric to be fused to both sides of the Heat and Bond. But since we are not putting another piece of fabric on the top, that left the Heat and Bond really slick. And the liquid fusion just didn't want to adhere to the Heat and Bond. So I tried the fabric fusion and it worked perfect. And the reason you're going to need an adhesive that will adhere to the heat and bond is because that's where we are going to place our magnets that will attach to the magnets that we're placing on the tumbler. And you can see here, I've just laid them on the baby bottle, and now I'm taking my UV resin and putting just a dab over the magnets. You don't want to use too much or they won't stick through the UV resin, but just a little bit of UV resin and it will still have good hold through the UV resin. So you can also put your UV resin down first on the cup and then lay the magnet on top of that. Either way you want to do it. I started off with 1mm magnets and placed those on the tumbler, placed my liquid fusion on the fabric, and then put the 1mm magnets on the fabric as well. And once everything, of course, on the tumbler, I used the UV resin to adhere the magnets. And then on the piece of fabric on the cape, I used the fabric fusion. And once that had dried, I did go back and add some liquid fusion to the magnets on the bottle. And then I added some 3mm magnets on top of the 1mm magnets. And then on the cape, on the inside, I just placed some more fabric fusion on top of the magnets, a small strip of fabric on top of that, and then another set of 1mm magnets on top of the inner fabric. So this does come off fairly easily. And that's why I think maybe it would be better suited for a toddler's tumbler, because a baby, as they are drinking the bottle, they are going to constantly be pulling at this thing and pulling it off. And so as a mom or a caretaker or dad, you're going to probably get tired of picking it back up and putting it back on the cup, or excuse me, putting it back on the bottle. Whereas a toddler, they might understand to just leave it on there as decoration. It's really cute or whatever. But, another thing you could do is, if a child has a favorite blanket that they have outgrown or that is all ratted and torn, you could use a strip of that blanket as your cape for the tumbler and just make it a little bit special. So that's an option as well. That's sort of what I did. Is I just, I took some, this is just fabric remnants that I had, and I just kind of whipped up this pacifier holder to match, as well as a little burp cloth to match. And then this would make a really cute baby gift set. You could customize and personalize the burp cloth and the pacifier holder, even the cape for the bottle if you wanted. But that is all for this tutorial. And I just thought it was really cute and fun, sort of different kind of tumbler design, if you will. But, if you want a tutorial on sublimation, there are tons of videos out there. I didn't feel like that needed to be included in this tutorial, as the focus more really was on the cape, if you will. So let me know what you think about this tumbler, if you liked it, if you think it's a good idea, but just something really fun and unique. And again, if I can get my printer working, I would love to try this on a toddler size stainless steel tumbler. and be able to paint and use water slide and all that. So that would be fun as well. But thank you so much for tuning in and watching my video. And as always, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, click on the bell for notifications and all that good stuff. And as always, I hope everyone has a blessed day.